going on, everybody? It's your favorite self-proclaimed master here, aka Timalik, and today I'm bringing you kind of a side series to our Archon PvP faction series, which hasn't technically started yet, but I already have the footage recorded for it, so we'll say that it's already started. But anyway, guys, this is going to be our beginner guide for the Archon network. So I am currently playing on Archon Faction Silver. Now, the difference between that and Factions Gold, which you guys have seen on the Camping Rushers videos, is that we don't have permanent death bans here, so it's kind of more of like a true, less hardcore Factions experience. But if you guys are familiar with Factions Gold, then chances are you're already ready to play Factions Silver. You just don't have to be so wary about the death bans. So without further ado, let's get started on some of the things that makes the Archon really special as a server. One of the first things you guys might notice about the Archon network is we do have some custom enchants here. Now, if you guys are familiar with some of the other faction servers that also have custom enchants, like Cosmic PvP, this does it a little bit differently. So we have 3 tiers of enchants here. Tier 1 is 15 levels, 2 is 30, and 3 is 45. Like you can see on the signs behind me, looks like we actually have a player there getting themselves some custom enchants. So as you can see, they're pretty popular on the server. Now, custom enchants apply to armor just like any other enchant would. So on this helmet, for example, you can see I have Protection 1 and Breaking 1, which are normal vanilla Minecraft enchants, but I also have Feast 1. And Feast 1 is an enchant that constantly keeps your hunger saturation all the way up, regardless of what you're doing, so it's really, really good. You can find a full list of all the custom enchants below. There's actually a forum post which explains what they all do, but I figured that this was probably worth mentioning. So the first thing you should do anytime you're exploring a new multiplayer Minecraft server is check out how the economy works, and specifically the server economy, because when you first spawn in, you probably aren't going to have a lot of money like some of the people in my faction, so you've got to be able to figure out what to do for money and how to sell those things to make your time the most valuably spent. So if we come down here, we can see that there's not a whole lot of things that you can sell to the server, and some of the stuff like rotten flesh or arrows even, aren't something that you can get right off the bat. There's something that you need to have spawners for, and spawners are pretty expensive. So as you start to look at some of this stuff, you might be thinking, well, gosh, there's not really a whole lot that I can sell, but then you might see things like cactus and carrots and potatoes and bread and things like that. So if we look at this just from like an economic standpoint, we can see that cactus sells for $60 for 16, carrots sell for $20 for 16, so it might be in our better interest to get a cactus farm going, but sugarcane sells for $75 a piece. Now, I'm not going to go over how to build a sugarcane farm because I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory and it's basic Minecraft information, but I will go over how to build a cactus farm. Let's check out ours now. Alright guys, so this is probably one of the easiest ways to make money as a new factions player, and it'll work on just about any server. Now the reason this works is it takes advantage of the way that cactus grows. So basically, we have a block for sand to sit on, a block of sand, cactus, a gap, and then we repeat the same thing all the way up. Now, the way cactus grows is it will not grow if there's something immediately on the block on top of it, but it will grow as long as there's not. Cactus breaks whenever you put something on those surrounding blocks. So as you can see, we have these fence posts here. So the cactus tries to grow, and it does, but then immediately gets broken by the fence post, which makes it pop off. Then we put water down all the sides, and the water guides the cactus all the way into hoppers. Now these hoppers enter into chests, and those chests collect all the cactus. So you can AFK this for a while, and the bigger your cactus farm is, the more cactus you're going to get, and that can generate you a lot of money. Now, it's not the most efficient way to make money, but you don't have to do anything to get it, so it's passive income, which is great. Now, this is something that I've been showing off in my streams quite a lot, and honestly, I think that this is the best way to make money as a new player. So you can see on the right, we have cocoa beans set up, and we have these set up in a lot of different layers, and then on either side of these cocoa beans, we've got wheat farms set up. Now, what we do, since we have a lot of skeleton spawners that we're constantly grinding, is we take all those annoying bones that we're getting but can't sell, and we bone meal the hell out of all of these crops in order to make the harvesting really, really easy. So once we have all of our wheat grown and we have cocoa beans set up in reserve, we come up here and we run all the way back to here where we have a lever. Now this lever activates the redstone, which all of these dispensers push out water and automatically break all of that wheat. Collect the wheat, combine the cocoa beans and the wheat into cookies, and then you can sell those in slash spawn for I think like $22,000 per inventory of cookies. You might be thinking that that's a lot, but one recipe, so one cocoa bean and 2 pieces of wheat, makes 8 cookies. So if you get a stack of all of those, you're talking about 8 stacks of cookies. So now that you guys have seen how to make your first couple $1,000s, you might be interested in getting a base set up and getting some spawners going. That way you can get the other stuff that sells for even more money. But if you're anything like me, you're going to look all around the shop and not find where you can buy spawners. Well, you've got to turn around, and that's where they are. So here you can see that we've got something called spawner levels on the Archon. Now, when you start off, you're at the default level, right? Level 1, so to speak, and you can buy chicken spawners. But until you reach level 2, you can't buy pig spawners, and you can't place them either. Now, you can get pig spawners from other players, but you still wouldn't be able to place them in your base. So the only way to bypass this system would be to buy one from another player and have them place it in your base. So it's probably in your best interest to try to get to these spawner levels as quickly as possible. And the way you do that, whenever you first get to 15 levels, you're going to type /rank up in chat. Now, because I'm a higher rank, you can see that I need a ton of levels to do it. But the first one's 15, and then 30, and then 45, so on and so forth, until you get all the way to iron golems, which are at the last level. So until you have the corresponding spawner level, you can't buy these spawners. So you've got to grind out your first couple levels on chickens, pigs, or cows. Personally, I would suggest doing it on chickens because you can one-shot them with a stone sword, and that way you don't have to spend all kinds of money buying diamonds and things like that. So I would recommend getting yourself a whole bunch of chicken spawners while you're AFKing your farms, and that'll probably be your best bet until you can get to skeletons, and those will probably carry you all the way through to some of the higher level spawners. So once you've made enough money from your farms, chances are you're going to want to invest in some spawners to get to the highest point in the game. To explain this to you guys, I've brought along our factions builder who does stuff like this every day. His name's Braden. What's up, man?
What's up?
Alright, so explain to us what we're looking at here.
Basically, this is a simple mob grinder meant for skeletons and zombies, where you can use the water to push them into the center area, in which there's a hole that drops them into a place where you can kill them.
And this will work on just about any server, guys, so this is probably the way you're going to want to do it starting out. So that's it, guys. I didn't cover everything because this server is beautifully complex. It's got things like crate keys and custom events. There's way too much to cover in one video, but I hope that this guide gave you guys a good starting point to launch your Archon careers like I am. My name's Timalik. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you all next time. See you guys.